Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today we have Kaylee Felio of PartsEdge with us. And Ted, quite the topic of conversation. Parts has been on the mind of many people in our industry.
Sarah, we have Kaylee to thank for a lot of that because even here at the roundtable, we never had enough parts information, and now that has all changed in the last few years. So, Kaylee, thanks to you and congratulations to PartsEdge, and welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I remember mine was like the only parts panel when it first started.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's really cool to see, because I've been with PartsEdge for about over 10 years and um just the conversation and how much it's changing, and it's not so much people are like, "What? You want to talk about parts?" People are like actually want to talk about parts. So it's cool. It's cool to see.
And there's a lot of conversation about parts, and I think there was a time when also you were the only podcast on parts. That's not the case today, all right?
No,
Um,
there's a couple more. But that's okay. That's good.
That's good. That's good. And you're certainly the longest running. Okay, we could definitely say that, right? On parts. But so bring us up to speed. Tell us about Parts Edge because Parts Edge has really grown too. You're helping a lot of dealers. We had a panel, on this roundtable as well with some of your clients, and you're doing some great things with the industry.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of mentioned this before. What I've always appreciated about what we do is we've always focused and stayed in our lane and done a few things really, really well and executed really, really well. And I think that's what makes businesses and technology really successful when you're not trying to be a bunch of different things for everyone. So that's really, I don't think I answered your question, but that's really what I love about the opportunity ahead in 2026 and just I can't believe I just said that. It's crazy. 20 2026. But that's really what I'm excited about with the future of fixed ops and parts really.
Sarah, what are you hearing? Because there is a lot of buzz about parts this year.
There is, and Ted, we keep going back to the conversations around some of the big conversations in the industry. There's concern about availability of parts and how do dealerships get more parts for the technicians to then work on the cars. There's a lot of recalls on the horizon, which we're talking about, and sourcing the parts, and again, just all those processes to make sure that we have all of the pieces in place for an excellent customer experience. And then, of course, the $1 trillion question: how much of that pie can a dealership obtain? And parts, we're seeing the projections, Ted, it's going to
Yeah.
continue to be a very lucrative and very successful component for a lot of businesses, automotive parts. And OEMs, dealer retailers, they're a piece of that puzzle, but they can be an even bigger piece outside of their markets as well.
Mhm.
That's right, Kaylee. That parts availability. Okay, it's no longer just the front counter and the back window of the service department. Parts and service together. Parts are now mainstream, and you see what Amazon has done. With from originally books to now all consumer goods. I don't know where this goes, but parts is huge, and it's getting a lot of well-deserved attention, and then that attention also has to focus on the people in parts and the leadership and the managing skills as well.
Yeah, it really does. And I think it's such a skill that
Yeah.
so many people, if you really look at the parts department and parts managers and their skill and what they enjoy, I just think it's overlooked because just talking all just the conversation we just had, how it's not just simply ordering parts, it's really looking at data and seeing how can you make more profit. And yeah, it's not as simple as just stocking up. If you do that, you're probably going to have a lot of obsolescence. So I think when you think about availability, there's fear. You just have to look at the data ahead and see, what is an accurate day supply for certain types of parts. And so that's really, I think, what what we need to focus on is, I'm going to say it again, data, and really looking at that to see what you need in your market and in your demand. Um, yeah.
Scott Rutherford says a big part of it is making it look easy, and that's what the great managers do. So, what are some of the things, Kaylee, that PartsEdge can help managers with, that you help managers with today? Because we come across people all the time. You and I were recently in Texas at the Snell Motor Company, and we
Yeah.
met another one of your clients there, and they are longtime PartsEdge customers, and they were excited. Kaylee, they're actually everyone's excited to talk about parts this year.
That's so cool. Well, and I love that a lot of our clients have been with us for so many years. It's just so cool to see that, because just out of the 3 that we just talked about, they've been, like, 10 plus years, I feel like. But, uh, shoot, I forgot the question. I had a good thought.
Things that you're working on that are
Oh,
ahead in 2026, because I know you shared some of those with us in the green room.
yeah.
I don't know what you could share with us, publicly here.
Yeah, I really wanna emphasize the reporting that we offer because, there's 2 components, is the setting up of the DMS and maintaining that whole process. And, that takes a really, I think it's really beneficial for new parts managers because a lot of times they don't know how to work that system. But then it's also beneficial for a more experienced parts manager because they get it and they're already trying to do it. But then there's the other component of reports and seeing how you can make action, returnable parts, non-returnable parts. You have the health of your inventory, your aging, all things that your DMS kind of does, or maybe your ASR program, your auto stock replenishment program like RIM or ARO. Just kind of throwing out names because ASR means different things for different people, so I like to translate that. so, um, but yeah, even though those systems have those reports, what I'm finding is our reporting has come such a long way to help parts managers take action and have the cleanest inventories and really see where the holes are in a way. So that's kind of one thing I wanted to point out is it's not just technology and making the DMS efficient. It's also there's a reporting component of what we do as well. So
Yep. And Sarah, we see that as such an important component because a lot of times in the past, parts managers, maybe, you know, weren't daily or they should be focused daily on their inventory, but there are some dealerships where it's not a daily focus, and it's the ones who consistently do the same thing in and out every day and maintain that focus, Sarah, that really are ahead of the game.
yeah,
It's
it's
so true,
definitely
Ted. And the biggest piece, Kaylee, in talking about some of this reporting, you know, not all reports are created equal in various DMSs. And even though the data is great information, there's a lot to be interpreted that only the skill of the parts manager and knowing, well, wait, I should pull this report versus this report.
and
And
combining
even
like
though
5 different reports into a spreadsheet. Yeah.
yes, it's those little pieces that, Kaylee, are so important, and we're seeing that across the industry. It's understanding not only the data and what the subject matter is, but also why that report needs to be the way it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think, the one thing too is like Ted, you mentioned sometimes dealerships, focus on it monthly, daily, what type. So like with ours, it just shows up. They don't have to remember to pull those reports. So that's another benefit.
Yeah.
And then there's also, times where you want to dig in deeper, and that's when we get requests and, 5-10 seconds later, you have that report.
Wow.
So, but one thing I do want to point out, because my fear of bringing up reports, and that's a piece of what we do, is that I never want PartsEdge to be looked at as just like another dashboard that doesn't do anything for you, because there's so much in the background that we do on the DMS that not a lot of technology companies actually can execute. They're executing on data so you can make action. Ours is a combination where the parts manager takes action, but then we're also taking action on the back end too.
Wow.
So I just don't feel like a lot of people realize that there's a lot of back end work that has to happen in the DMS that just the parts manager doesn't have to do. That's what PartsEdge does. So
And I imagine you work with all the different DMSs because you've seen them all and work with all of them.
yeah, and we actually have our very first integration with Dominion DMS. So
Oh,
they're the first ones that have been able to basically push and pull back. The other DMSs we're still working on, but that's one that can do it. So we're doing that, and it's really amazing to see.
And for a dealer or a manager, most likely a parts manager, fixed ops director, to be able to extract that data and make something of it, a lot of times they have it, but it's not useful. You help make it useful on
Mhm.
a day-to-day basis. I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit, but I think that's a real important topic for 2026 and beyond.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things, being able to pull and analyze the data and push back the changes that need to happen is I don't think a lot of people realize how much time that saves a parts manager and how much more it just makes it more efficient for them to basically see what they need to stock and what they don't need to stock. And by having that automation, you can really break down the data into what I always say is more file cabinets or more files within a file cabinet. And you can just do a lot more with it when you have that. But when it comes to the reporting, having that available to, like I said, do those returns that you need to do, look at the non-returnable parts. Trying to think of some forced stock, so that's kind of like your special orders, nothing that met your best stocking levels. Just having that all right in front of your face so you can look at the detail and take action on it, just saves everyone time.
Sarah, these are all the word is we've been talking about efficiencies, right? Parts Edge makes you more efficient in parts and in service and overall. And Sarah, we're seeing a big focus on, making better use of time and becoming more efficient.
Efficiency is so important, Ted, and efficiency drives retention. It drives all of the other engines that make your business profitable. So, Kaylee, this is so exciting to hear all of the innovations that are coming to Parts Edge, and then also all of the ways that you continue to help elevate parts managers and what they're focusing on in our industry.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Kaylee, just the way some other tools in our day-to-day lives, things like the cell phone and the technology in our hand has made us all more efficient. Parts Edge is making us more efficient in the dealership and parts department and inventory. So thank you for all you do. And you know, I realize that not every dealer in the country uses Parts Edge yet. If they want to get more information, I know you're on the web at partsedge.com, but you're also very active on social media as well. How do people reach out to you?
Yeah, if you're active on LinkedIn, you can find me there, Kaylee Felio. But if you're not, then reach out. There's my do we have my cell phone on here? Or just my email? That's fine. Yeah, my email. You can find me on our website as well. So yeah, just reach out and I'm happy to collaborate and talk about the parts department with you.
Yeah, and thank you for all the many many recordings and panels and interviews we've done. I know we're going to see you next week in Las Vegas
Yes.
at NADA.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. We will be at NADA. We will not have a booth, but if you will be there and you would like to meet up, just let me know. And of course, I'll be around the Fixed Ops Roundtable when you guys are all there too. So it's going to be awesome to
Yes,
see everyone in person.
Kaylee will be a big part of that. And Sarah, I'm looking forward to that. We're going to have a lot of great conversations with Kaylee.
We will. It's going to be really exciting to be face to face and in person again, and lots of great discussion ahead.
All right. Kaylee Phil, everybody, sales and marketing manager at partsedge.com, the resource in 2026 and beyond. Please reach out. Kaylee Filio with us here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you.